What on earth is mushroom blading? In today's video, we're going to explore the unique world of mushroom blading, what sparked its creation, its history and founding fathers, its development, and how it's influenced traditional aggressive rollerblading. All the stunts are performed by professionals. Do not attempt this yourself. Before we get tucked into it, if you want to support me, you can give us a like. You can become a member of this channel for $2.99 a month. I've also got merch and a Patreon with exclusive videos. Cheers. Our story begins in Kamloops, British Columbia, Canada, with two of the figures instrumental in developing and popularising the style, Todd McInerney and Joey McGarry.
My name's Todd and this is Joey. What do we have up here? Ooh, a basket of nothing.
Both keen on sports, Todd was big into baseball and fancied himself as a bit of a Reggie Cleveland type character. Joey, like a true Canadian, was a complete puck nut and bang into hockey, so was on skates from an early age. One day while Joey's mum was driving him around, his eyes lit up when he seen a guy clad in neon with the big sports sunglasses on, cruising around, and he was like, "Mum,
what are those?"
"Son, they are what we call rollerblades. Maybe we can hire you a pair when we go to Shuswap Lake." That's exactly what they did, and Joey was loving it.
I loved hockey, but what I really liked about hockey was getting there before everybody and just having the ice to myself.
Rollerblade gave him that same feeling and so much more. There was no rink to confine him, there was no limitations.
I took to it immediately before I even knew that there were tricks or anything.
And it was this freedom that Joey was drawn to, which would then become a big part of what mushroom blading embodies. A couple of years later, when Joey was looking around Play It Again Sports, Chad Watson bowls over and goes, "Have you seen this? Mad Beef," an iconic rollerblading video from 1994 featuring the likes of Arlo, Eisenberg, Angie, Walton, Chris Edwards, Tom Fry, and this 394-foot front side from Dave Kollasch. It was at this moment Joey realised that this was way better than hockey. I mean, look at this state of this grind, man. What an absolute corker. Get in there, Davey. Got it. He grabbed himself some kryptonic wheels, some sonic grind plates, hired the classics like Bottom Line, VG3 and VG4, which opened his eyes to a whole new world. Hockey was still bubbling along in the background, but things were starting to get serious now. There were scouts on the scene and Joey was a big prospect.
You're such a pro.
Despite all the excitement though, he'd find himself sitting on the bench just thinking about rollerblading, watching that clock as if he was working a dead-end 9-to-5 job, waiting for it to tick down so he'd just get out of there and go skate. Mid-season he jacked it in.
The coaches made me tell the team that I'm quitting. That was a really bizarre thing to have to do.
He was like, "You can suck on that puck, you bunch of Wayne Gretzky's. You look more like Wayne Rooney anyway. This is boring, man. I am out of here to go rollerblading." The rumour mill started up. Some people thought he was actually going to be a pro rollerblader.
Some people thought that I was going to become a pro sled dogger. You know those like snow skates? Which I did use and they were horrible and I still have nightmares about them.
Todd also threw in the towel with the baseball. He was like, "I've already been to third place, you bunch of losers. I'm out of here." He also had realised that he was more a fan of like the highlight reels than actually like the full game itself.
That was pulled, but not on the ground. Just hammered to left center field. Gone!
He'd met Joey and been drawn into not only his passion for rollerblading, but also music and making videos, which was essentially another form of highlight reel. Seeing all of his passions come together in these early skate videos was like a mixtape to Joey. Amazing songs, freedom of movement. It offered endless possibilities to be creative. The pair of them were sold on the idea of rollerblading and started creating videos together, which would eventually result in full-length edits like "Okay Buddy," "Fuck Whatever," "No Seriously Low," "Cirque du Soleil," and "Better Than Baseball." A cheeky nod to Todd's past. In a Reddit Ask Me Anything, Joey said, "I was always really weird growing up, and skating and videos was the perfect thing to be weird with." The early videos were a combination of traditional aggressive skating inspired by the likes of John Elliott, Josh Petty and Dustin Latimer, mixed in with more obscure, funny and unique tricks, the kind of tricks you would only see once in a while, mostly in the classic 90s videos when rollerblading was trying to figure itself out and there was less chat about what was cool or not. people were just going with the flow and doing whatever came to them. It was these tricks they would absolutely love and gravitate to a lot more. Dustin Latimer's second word section was also a huge influence because he took that rulebook and threw it out of his car window as he was driving down the motorway. It was completely unexpected and exactly what they were looking for. It was a section so far ahead of its time that it even took the boys a few years to truly appreciate how wild it was. Motivated by their passion for rollerblading, Todd and Joey managed to capture not just the skating, but everything around it as well. The feeling of skating, that less serious side of it, everyone's personality. And they did this through lots of B-roll and skits with sometimes frantic, off-the-wall editing inspired by TV shows like Euphoria Emporium and films like Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
We are the knights who say ni. No, not the knights who say ni.
Joey would also cite that Walter Murch's rule of 6 would become an influence later on. Emotion, story, rhythm, eye trace, two-dimensional plane of screen and three-dimensional space of action. It may look like they were just messing around, but they were serious about messing around.
We take it very seriously. We're serious. It's business. It's serious. But at the same time, it's not.
After Better Than Baseball, Todd required ACL surgery.
I was kind of like afraid that my career was over.
He thought he wasn't going to be able to skate much, do the big gaps that he enjoyed doing and skating in the traditional way that he had been. So he said,
let's just make a video of the weirdest shit we can do.
And they needed a name that would let people know exactly what they were about. Mushroom blading.
When people watch that video, they will be expecting weird skating.
Now the phrase mushroom blading actually surfaced in the late 1990s, early 2000s, and it's believed to have come from Andy Kruse. He came up with various names to describe people's styles and suggested people who skated this way were potentially under the influence. Not to say that you should do that or you need to do that, it's just about having an open mind.
Any weird tricks that looked like someone was under the influence of psilocybin mushrooms, it was like a joke.
Although Joey did say there was one experience with fellow crew member Mason under an IKEA parkade where he really got the feel for rollerblading. Among early mushroom bladers was Nick Riggle, who described his skating to Daily Bread in 2003 as, "I've always tried to look at skating with new eyes. Nearly every time I go rolling, I look at things in a different way, or I deliberately search for things that haven't been skated. I don't do this just to be different. This way of skating is the most pleasing to me. This way of rolling becomes much more than a physically engaging sport. It becomes a mental exercise, maybe even an artistic pursuit." Mushroom blading stood for Unconventional, and their crew, Soul, at least that's what people thought their crew was called at the time, had already started being seen as mushroom bladers alongside the likes of Nick Riggle and Dustin Latimer.
It just kind of was a name for any weird style or weird trick.
So the name mushroom blading was ideal. Around the mid-2000s, Todd and Joey thought rollerblading had got a little bit one-dimensional.
Every picture in the magazine was jump on, slide down. We always made the joke, look at how heterosexual rollerblading is.
It made them push against it, diving deeper into the unconventional and resulting in Mushroom Blading Volume 1, with a cover inspired by blading classic Damaged Goods. They were enjoying the feeling of skating, moving away from preconceived ideas of what skating was meant to be, experimenting with new ways of skating and new ideas, no matter how strange they may initially feel, including loads of swivels, lots of cess slides, toe and heel rolls. Nothing was off the table. It was like a mega mix of all the strange moves they'd seen over the years, but just set to turbo. Their skating was free of ego, which had become a dominant force in rollerblading at the time. They were the most extreme form of mushroom blading.
As time went on, we just were known as the mushroom blading guys.
It was innovative, it was creative, it was also wacky, fun and jokey at times, which seems to be a trait of Canadian rollerbladers, which can be seen in Danny Beer's skating. He's incredibly talented, really creative, and has this playful side, executed so well and at such a high level, you might actually struggle to know if he's joking or not. They have said that Canada's environment has also played a part in their skating.
When the whole city is covered in snow and you're forced to go to this really weird spot and make the most of it, you're gonna build your creative muscles, right? You're gonna make something out of nothing.
Mushroom Blading Volume 1 caused a little bit of a stir. Chill with that crap. You're making us look like shit. Go big or go home. This isn't figure skating. Amazingly bad, and not even in a funny way.
Skate poem, skate be creative bullshit.
Interestingly, some of the most innovative and influential skaters at the time, like Sagona, Latimer, Charles Dunkle and Ollie Short, had seamlessly incorporated that mushroom blading style into their skating and received far less hate. For a lot of people, Todd and Joey had gone too far. They had jumped the shark.
What have you done?
Sadly, a big part of rollerblading was concerned with the gay, freebooter stigma that surrounded skating. They wanted to prove themselves and step away from that, and they felt like mushroom blading wasn't doing them any favours.
Okay, dude, you ready?
You got this, man.
Yeah, I got this. You ready?
The criticism did nothing. Mushroom blading wasn't about pleasing the masses or fitting in with other people's idea of what skating was. They continued to skate in a way that was unique and true to themselves. More videos came incorporating moves from speed skating, slalom, whatever this clip was inspired by, even skiing. As it developed, it became more refined, less weird for being weird's sake, but it kept its freedom, its spontaneity, and always included those natural moments where you do just mess around when you're enjoying yourself. And I think that was a key feature of mushroom blading. They shared a side of the lifestyle and the culture that other people veered away from showing. Around the same time, aggressive rollerblading was evolving. Previously, stunts was the main dish on the menu, but people weren't looking to just fit in line and go bigger anymore. There was a growing trend to push for something more creative and unique. Todd and Joey had been fearless and relentless explorers of this and had a catalogue of inspiration for people. They'd gone from being war criminals to being praised for their services to the culture. And although they cite others as doing a better job than them,
There's people doing that idea way better than we ever could.
and there are many factors that shaped modern rollerblading. It's hard to argue that they've not had some sort of influence, and there's no denying they were complete pioneers. Rollerblading has absorbed mushroom blading. It's not so much a style anymore or this separate thing, it just kind of is rollerblading, and that's what it was always meant to be. It's not a definitive name for a definitive style of skating. It's a way to veer from the traditional spin, lock on, spin off of tricks. Dustin Latimer, the GOAT. Mushroom blading has developed beyond weird tricks in wacky videos into a full-on brand, and the pair have added to skating culture in many ways. They started one of the first rollerblading podcasts after Rolling Revival, How to Be Unpopular, which people still call Mushroom Blading Podcast because their association with it. They do video commentaries.
It's confirmed Dustin Latimer is a time traveler.
They have clothing, they work with the likes of K2 and Muzzle, they have their own wheel brand now, and they've also played an integral role in the development of wizard skating, another style that's again had an influence on aggressive rollerblading and allowed them to push their own skating to another dimension. Mushroom blading has always been a part of skating. It's that freedom to do whatever you want and whatever feels good. But Todd and Joey fully lived it and took it to the complete extremes, showing you exactly what you could do with like no ego, no fear of being judged. And it's incredible. Thank you very much to my Patreons for helping to support me, keep this thing going. You can join them from £3 a month, insights into the videos, exclusive videos, all that kind of good stuff. Here's a couple of videos you can watch in the meantime. Thanks for watching, I'll see you again soon. Spotty Dog.